Before this video begins, I would just like to point out that any products or services mentioned within this video, I am neither paid nor sponsored to show on this video in any way, shape or form. And if I use them because I pay for them out of my own pocket. So there you go, right? Also as well, I'd like to mention that the 4 steps mentioned in this video to booking a campsite, I use genuinely every time when I'm booking a new campsite in a place I do not know or unfamiliar with. Now, the first 2 steps are about exploration and finding out about a place that I do not know about. So if you're familiar with a location that you plan to book a campsite at, skip the first 2 steps and go to step number 3. Believe you me, it'll save you a bit of time. All right, there we go. So enjoy the video. And there's a little robin over there, keeps flying by. I'm going to try and stick my arm out and hope it lands. So catch it in the outtakes if it lands. See you in a bit. Enjoy the video. Come on, Robin. Seriously, there is a robin over there. I am not joking. Now, enjoy the video. Come on. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Paul and this is Buster's Boy Camping. Thank you for making this a part of your day. It is Tuesday the 4th of January 2022. It's 2 degrees centigrade and it is pretty chilly out here. But this is about the time of year that if you haven't done so already, maybe you're thinking about booking your campsite for the year. Now, in this video I want to discuss the 4 steps that I use to booking a campsite. Step number 1 is inspiration, because I don't know about you, but I need to feel excited about a location before I decide I want to visit it. Now, I'm someone who likes to explore, I like to go hiking, I like to take photographs, so maybe this may not be applicable to you. Maybe you've been to an area plenty of times before, you know it like the back of your hand, so just skip this step and go to step number 3. So, if you're still here, let's just imagine that you've heard of the Lake District. Now, I've been to it plenty of times before, I know it's been well documented, yes, I know. But let's just say you've never been there before, but you've heard of it. So, I like to use social media, and this is step number 1, using social media. I like to use Instagram because you can use the hashtag and then you can search the area that you're interested in. So in this example, the Lake District, hashtag the Lake District, search for that and you'll find everybody's photographs that have been in the Lake District and taken photographs, and then you can see what's there. It gives you an idea of the lay of the land before you get there, whether it's a place that is interesting to you. On Facebook, it's a little bit different. There are plenty of groups on there. I like to use one called Welcome to Cumbria and the Lake District. And again, a lot of people upload their photographs to that group. And then you can see what's there. And not long ago, I found a new location. Even though I've been going to the Lake District a lot, I found a new location called Waste Water. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I need to go there. And even though, as I say, I've been there loads of times, I now go, okay, the next time I book to go to the Lake District, that's a place I'll go, and I'll add it onto my list of places to explore. So all these places that I've got, I'll then note down, ready for step number 2. For step number 2, we're going to be using Google Maps, which is an extension of step number 1. So again, if you know the area like the back of your hand, been there plenty of times, then you don't need to know this, skip to step number 3. But using Google Maps gives us an indication of what we can expect to find in that area and how all these local landmarks that we're interested in visiting relate to one another. Are some in a cluster in one area and some in another area? Maybe you don't want to be zigzagging backwards and forwards. So it's nice to get a lay of the land before you go away. It does take away a little bit of surprise when you get there and a little bit of exploring, but I find it generally cuts down on fuel consumption and also as well makes your day just to run a little bit easier. For step number 3, which is step number 1 for those of you who skip number 1 and number 2 because you know the area like the back of your hand, and for those people, welcome. So for step number 3, we know the place that we're going to. We've got a great idea of what's going to be there when we get there. We know the places are in relation to each other in steps number 1 and number 2. And now we're thinking about actually booking the site. But we need to think about one thing first, and that is the duration that we're going to be there and the tent that we're going to be taking. How many people are going to be going? Are you, like me and most of my trips, going to be going on your own? Are you going to be going for 2 nights, 3 nights, maybe a week? Or are you taking your whole family? Maybe you're taking the children as well, in which case you're going to need a much larger tent. These are all factors to consider at this stage. Also as well, if you're going to be camping on your own, and maybe you're going to be spending 3 or 4 nights or maybe a week on your own, are you really going to feel comfortable in a 1 or 2 person tent? Maybe, just maybe, you're going to want to be able to sit up. Maybe you're going to want to walk around. This is why when I was at Chipping Norton, I spent a couple of nights there and I used the Quechua 3XL because it was a 3 person tent, but if it rained, I had the ability to sit up in it. I took the Quechua 4.1 when I went in May last year with my dog Buster for my birthday, because again, it gave me that freedom to stand up, to be able to get changed, not while laying down, but to be able to do it like I normally do. It gave me that time to sit up and enjoy my trip because I knew I was going for a prolonged period. Now, if I was going to be going for 1 or 2 nights, then yeah, maybe a 2 person tent would have been fine, would have been ample. But this is a campsite trip. This is not a wild camping trip. This is not where every single ounce counts. Also as well, if you're going to be going with a family, you've got to think about all the equipment you're going to be taking. The tent that's going to need to accommodate everybody and their needs. The stoves, the clothes, the camping stuff, the bedding. You've got to think about all this beforehand. And then you've got to think about, right, I know how many people are going and how long for. Now I can get round to booking my pitch. I would just like to interrupt this video just briefly, so please just bear with me a moment. Now, in a recent video called You Choose Buster's Boy Camping Interactive, it was quite a long name, I asked you lovely people to choose between 2 stoves, namely the Jetboil Zip versus the Jetboil Minimo, and then 2 tents, the Van Gogh Banshee 300 Pro versus the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2. All you needed to do was put the name of whichever stove or whichever tent you would like to see on my next camping trip. And you can do that on this video too. So please, if you'd like to see the Jetboil Zip on my next camping trip, put it in the comments below. If you'd like to see the Jetboil Minimo, put it in the comments below. If you'd like to see the Van Gogh Banshee 300 Pro, put it in the comments below. If you'd like to see the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2, then you guessed it, put it in the comments below. All votes will be collected and counted, and on Wednesday the 19th of January 2022 at 2 p.m, the vote will be closed and the winner from each stove and each tent will be picked, and I will be using that stove and that tent on my next camping trip, which you can see right here on the channel in February. Thank you very much for your time, and back to the video. And finally, we arrive at step number 4, and everything we've done up to this point has led up to this one event. So just as a little bit of a recap, step number 1 was about researching the area, seeing what other people's photographs were of that area to see if it had any interest for us, using social media such as Instagram and Facebook. Step number 2, we took that a step further using Google Maps and Street View to see where all these places that we'd seen on social media were related to each other and how far away they were. Gives us an idea of the geography. In step number 3, we worked out how many people were going, for how long for, and ultimately what size tent and the equipment that we would need to take. So now we arrive at booking our campsite. Now the first thing that we need to do here is find out the size of our tent. Now you can do this a number of ways. The easiest way is probably to actually go on the website of the company you purchased the tent from and having a look at the description box of the tent that's on sale still. So if your tent is still on sale, say we're going to use Decathlon. Decathlon do a wide range of tents, so I've got some Quechua tents that I've purchased from Decathlon. I can go onto Decathlon's website, look in the detail box and see where it is, and I can see the size, the length and the width. That's all I'm going to need. So I need to jot that down and keep that safe, and I'm going to come back to that point in a moment. Another way you can do it is, if you've got a garden like this, then you can lay the tent out and again just measure the tent's length and width, and again note it down and keep it safe. Now the reason why I'm saying keep it safe is because what happens when you still got that tent and that tent is no longer on sale? It has been discontinued, and this was a problem I encountered recently with the Quechua 3XL from Decathlon. They discontinued the tent, and unfortunately I couldn't find the sizes anywhere. I did a Google search and it took me a little while, but eventually I did find the size. So keep that information safe, and do ultimately what I do. When you've got a collection of tents, it's hard to remember the size of each and every tent that you own. So what I've done is I've got a picture of the tent, the name of the tent, and also the dimensions. Luckily for me, I have an office, I have a notice board, and I've actually pinned the sheet up with all these tents that I use up right next to my computer. So when I'm booking my pitch, I can look up and I can see the size straight away. It comes in handy in case one of those tents in the future becomes discontinued and unfortunately I can't find the sizes. So that is an important point. Now we need to find a campsite before we can ultimately book the campsite. So you can do this a couple of ways. The first way is going to be going on Google or whatever search engine you have preference with, searching for the area that you have interest in, which in this example is going to be the Lake District, and then searching the words camping or campsite, and then looking at the results and going from there. Job done. You can also go and do the way I have done it, which is joining the camping and caravanning club. Now the reason why I joined is for two reasons. First of all, they have 100 campsites across the United Kingdom, which means that if I have a place of interest that I'm particularly interested in, that the probability of finding a campsite which is close to that area is going to be quite high with that amount of campsites. Also as well, by having a membership, it means that because I go camping on a regular basis as I do, every time I book as a member, I'm actually saving money as if I wasn't a member, because some of their campsites do accept non-members as well as members. But if you are a non-member, you are going to ultimately pay a little bit more in the price. So that's why I became a member. Now they do two types of membership. They do a digital membership, and I'll put the price here for you. And that is where you get, I think it's a magazine that's sent through to your phone and it's digital. Or you can have a magazine sent through your letterbox once a month and you actually get a physically read magazine, which is great. And that's the way I have gone. I'll put the prices here for you. So there we go. The Camping and Caravanning Club has been going since 1901, has over 700,000 members across the country, and is a non-profit organisation. So all the money that goes in is put ultimately back into making it better. And I think they are fantastic. They call themselves the Friendly Club, and I stand by that. I've asked questions. What's that mountain over there? Oh, that's Skiddaw. Yeah, and they are so friendly, and I can't recommend them enough. But there's also plenty of privately owned campsites out there as well, which are equally as good and well worth a try. Also, but I personally, for me, I like to use the Camping and Caravanning Club. So yeah, there we go. I'm not paid or sponsored to mention. They don't even know I'm making this video, but I do wholeheartedly recommend them. And if you're going to be going on a regular basis, if you could be doing like 5 or 6 camping trips a year, I fully recommend doing the membership as well. So there we go. So that is how I go camping. That's how I book my campsite and how I go about it. I hope that has been of some help to you in booking your campsite, and I strongly recommend. I mean, it's January now, so with this pandemic, everyone is sort of staycationing and going on holiday in their own country, so I highly recommend that you get your campsite booked sooner rather than later to avoid disappointment. I hope all the information that I've given here has been of any help. If it has, please comment and subscribe if you would like to. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you again in a future video. Bye bye for now. Well, it must be jet day. Really busy. Maverick's on his way. Bye, Maverick. Also as well, if you're going like if you're going to be going on me, I'm going to stay in this location because the sunlight out there is just horrendously bright. Anyway, and very contrasty as well, might add, and very cold. Anywho, step number 2. Appropriate size pitch that we need to you know. Nest Bridge. Oh, so is Buttermere. No, it's not. This is taken. So before we go online, wants to promote any product or service with on. That's a new word. With on. I was with on. Before this video begins, I would like to point out that I'm not paid or sponsored to promote any service or any product that you may hear or see about on this video. So just... And I've got to get warm because I'm cold, I'm frozen. Been out for like 3 hours doing a 10-minute video. Not good. And I need a wee. 3, 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You know when you need a wee and you're kind of doing this wiggle, 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 wiggle. I've grown 3 beards since I started making this video. Ugh. Gone through about 5 batteries. Down, ready for step number 2. Oh, yes! Yes! We have a wrap. Thank God for that. I've grown 5 beards since I started this video yesterday. It is freezing, I can finally take my gloves off. Where we use Google Maps and Street View. Buster, come here, come here, come here. Buster wanted to say hello, didn't you? You want to say hello? Say woof woof. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. You talk. Talk to me. Talk. You want to talk to me? No, you do. Yeah. You're a good boy, aren't you? You're a good boy. And in a future video. Bye bye for now. Oh, finally. Finally. A bit about the area that we didn't know that much about. Step number 2, we took that to a step, more steps and strictly come dancing. Talk, roll over. Roll over. Good boy. Go on, down you go. Any second now. Any second now. Come on, little Robin. Land on my arm. Come on, you can do it. Land on my arm. Any second now. Any time now would be great. Any time now. Yeah. Yeah. Any time now.